back in the 1990s, it became a clear focus that there was a legislative barrier for farm workers in Ontario and Alberta to join trade unions, most of whom, of course, were temporary farm workers. And that legislation had no rational basis in law and was fundamentally unjust. Those most in need of protection have been typically the most easily denied those protections. So aside from legal battles, on the broader picture of temporary foreign workers across the country, out of a membership of 250,000 members, several thousand of those members are temporary foreign workers outside of agriculture. And so what UFCW Canada has done, and its locals, to respond to that, is we've initiated some, I would suggest, innovative programs in order to protect these workers, not only just in their workplaces, which is our typical realm, but in the broader society as well. A local that I wanted to highlight was local 1118 out of Alberta, to support my original thesis that trade unions and labor must be included in that dialogue concerning temporary foreign workers in a more meaningful way. The union's approach is one of broad social trade unionism. The work of the union doesn't end essentially at the factory door. So the local itself is somewhere between 15 to 20% of its membership as temporary foreign workers, totaling about 1,000 workers. So local 832 out of Manitoba has done some significant work as well with temporary foreign workers. So one of the most meaningful successes that local 1118 has accomplished has been their ability to negotiate with large meat processing employers to effectively make the temporary foreign worker program, not a temporary foreign worker program, but to make it an immigration program. And this is how they did it. So the union negotiates with each employer so that each and every person arriving under the temporary foreign worker program is automatically entered into the Alberta Provincial Nominees Program. So effectively, since 2004, Local 1118 has taken the temporary foreign workers, in this case, out of the wrong immigration line, that being the temporary foreign worker line, and placed them into the right line, the line to get status in Canada. And not only does it place them in that line, it places them at the front of that line. So not only does UFCW Canada Local 1118 provide fundamental protections in the area of its workplaces, but as well in the area of immigration. And things don't stop there. UFCW Local 1118 does things such as police housing issues, healthcare, and educational issues. As well, it facilitates broader social networking for temporary foreign workers while they're on their road to permanent residency. In this way, I would suggest that UFCW Canada at Local 1118 effectively acts as a settlement agency in of itself. In the area of housing, for instance, the local union representatives inspect housing before new temporary foreign workers arrive to ensure it meets municipal codes and to ensure that the premises are reasonable given the number of people that the employer suggests are going to live in that house. And the need to inspect housing began out of necessity, where some employers would have housing provided by unscrupulous middlemen who would charge the workers up to 30% for 30% of their salary. So it's for this reason that I become a little bit incensed when I hear organizations or government assert that to overcome the problems of temporary foreign workers, we must merely encourage workers to do what is right. Few workers do that, few employers do that, unless they are policed and unless they're forced to by typically a trade union. The union has won a landmark case with regard to temporary foreign workers being covered under workers' compensation legislation during their first 30 days at work. With regard to education, the union introduced them to ESL so that they fit the criteria of the provincial nominee program, ensures that their health care requirements are taken care of, teaches them everything from buying groceries, banking, and so forth. So it's with these facts in hand and similar programs across the country that I'd suggest that there needs to be a greater injection of labor into the dialogue that is critically important if we're going to significantly reduce abuse and exploitation of these workers, and those are the fundamental pillars of the temporary foreign worker program.